During the pandemic, people turned to all sorts of new hobbies. While some began to garden or bake bread, my mom began to make pizza dough. At first, it was just a way to pass the time, something new to try. But over time, it became more than that. Week by week, Sunday after Sunday, it turned into a family tradition: Sunday pizza nights. On almost every Sunday for the past few years, our house has been filled with the whirring of the stand mixer and the unmistakable smell of fresh dough. The toppings vary weekly, sometimes a classic margarita, and other times seemingly strange combinations like mashed potatoes and bacon. But the dough itself remains the same. Today, I'll walk you through the process of making dough from scratch, including the materials, preparation of the dough, and the final assembly. Let's start with the basics, the ingredients. To make a pizza dough, you need 500 grams of flour, 350 grams of warm water, 1 tablespoon sugar, a half teaspoon yeast, and 1 tablespoon of kosher salt. They're simple ingredients, but together they can make something delicious. As for the tools, you'll need a digital scale and measuring spoons. We weigh the flour and water to ensure precision. It removes any guesswork and makes it so that every week you get the same crust. My family prefers to use the stand mixer to knead the dough. However, you can also knead it by hand if you'd prefer. It just takes a bit more time and effort. You'll also need parchment paper and either a baking tray or a pizza stone. We prefer to use a pizza stone. The stone acts as a substitute for a baking tray, but also is key to ensuring a crispy, golden bottom crust. It distributes heat evenly along the bottom of the pizza crust, helping the bottom become crispy rather than soggy. Once you have all your tools and ingredients laid out, it's time to start preparing the dough. The first step for making the dough is the yeast. If you're using active dry yeast, you need to rehydrate it before using it in the dough. To do this, combine 35 grams of water with the yeast and allow it to sit for around 10 minutes. If you're using instant yeast, however, that step can be completely skipped. Regardless of the yeast, mix everything together except the salt. That gets added later. If you already used 35 grams of water to activate the yeast, only add 315 grams more. The dough will look messy at first, but after a few minutes of kneading, it will come together into a cohesive ball. You'll see the texture shift from shaggy to smooth and elastic. Once the dough has formed, let it rise for an hour. This time lets the gluten start to develop. After that hour, it's time to add the salt. Sprinkle in the salt while kneading the dough. I know it seems strange to add the salt after the dough has already formed, but if you add the salt too early, it can interfere with the yeast and prevent the dough from rising properly, leaving you with a dense and flat crust. After all the salt has been kneaded in, cover the bowl and place it in a warm spot. My mom's favorite spot is in the oven, with the oven light on. This provides just the right amount of heat. Let it rise for 4 to 8 hours, depending on your schedule. A longer rise will give the dough more flavor and also make it more airy. While the dough is rising, it's time to prepare for the final assembly of the pizza. Preheat the oven to 550 degrees convection, and if you're using a pizza stone, put that in the oven while it's preheating. This is also the perfect time to start preparing your toppings. Pick out a sauce and cheese, cook any meats like sausage and bacon, and slice any vegetables, so everything is ready to go when the dough is done. Once you've allowed the dough to rest long enough, it's ready to use. The recipe makes 2 pizzas, so divide the dough in half, and on a sheet of parchment paper, use your hands to push the dough to form a 12-inch circle. It doesn't have to be perfect, but be sure to leave a thick edge to form a crust. It can be helpful to also sprinkle a small amount of flour on the dough to prevent it from sticking to your hands. Now comes the fun part. Cover the dough with all your toppings, layering them however you please. Once topped, slide the pizzas into the oven, parchment and all. Bake for 7 to 10 minutes, but be sure to remove the parchment after the first 3 minutes to prevent it from burning. The pizzas are done when the crust is crisp, the cheese is bubbling, and the bottom is golden brown. Take them out of the oven, let them cool for a minute, and then slice them up and enjoy. In conclusion, with the right tools, a bit of preparation, and a few steps to assemble, anyone can create a pizza from scratch. It's a process that rewards patience as a simple combination of flour, water, and yeast transforms into something golden, crisp, and completely your own. After just a half hour of hands-on effort and a few hours of rising time, you're left with something delicious. And the best part? Those toppings are entirely up to you. Whether you choose classic with tomato and mozzarella or go rogue with mashed potatoes and bacon, there's room for creativity in every slice. For us, pizza making has become much more than a recipe. What began as a small experiment during the pandemic has grown into a beloved tradition. Every Sunday, our kitchen is filled with warmth and the unmistakable aroma of something special in the making. So maybe next weekend, give it a try and see what happens. You might end up with a tradition of your own. Okay, thank you guys.